Hey everyone, how's it going? Matt here. I'm back on the channel, and this week I thought I'd do a review of a pack that I've been living with for the past month, and that is the version 1, the first edition, the first year of the Atlas Bags Atlas Athlete. Now, this is a bag that went into production in around 2017, I believe. This is apparently one of the first 100 bags that was built by the company. And I bought this used. As you can see, there's quite a lot of damage on the exterior, off of a website called Mercari, which is kind of like a eBay company. And it was a very reasonable price. It was $70 for this bag, which would have retailed at over or around $400. New, the version 2 of this bag, which is just coming out right now, costs about $450. So I thought that was a pretty good bargain to pay less than 25% of the original cost. This bag is a 20-liter backpack. It is really a hiking backpack that has a camera core built in, and that is exactly what I was looking for. And why was that what I was looking for? Well, I had been living with the Peak Design bag, and you can see a review on my channel of that bag for 2 years. And I like that bag. I think it's very functional, but I was taking it hiking and I was taking it outside, or more often, I was ditching it and just throwing my camera into my hiking backpack, and that was not a good situation. And the reason why was the lack of padding and comfort overall on that Peak Design bag. I don't actually think I want anything different when I'm shooting in the city. I know that often we're driving to a location, we're taking pictures, or we're taking, public transit, or we're biking or something like that. But at the end of the day, the fundamental things that I want in a hiking camera backpack are the same things I want in a city backpack. I want to be able to carry a fair amount of weight in a comfortable way where my camera gear is secure. And that is really the fundamental thing that I care about in a backpack. And I've had a really good experience over the last couple weeks working with this bag and using it in the field. I've probably put maybe 100 miles, on my legs carrying this bag. And so I want to walk you through what I like about the bag, what I don't like about the bag, and just some of the clever kind of innovations about the backpack. Okay, so comfort. Now, as far as I'm concerned, as I mentioned, comfort is non-negotiable. It's the most important part of a backpack. And because of that, I think that we should look at a hiking backpack, because hiking backpacks are designed for comfort. They're designed to carry a lot of weight on your back for a long period of time. If you want to test and understand what the most comfortable backpack can be, we should look at hiking backpacks. So as an example, this is the REI 40-liter Trail 40. So it's a pretty big backpack, but this is the backpack that I've used for like 5 or 6 years. It's so comfortable. You throw this thing on and you can walk for miles and you don't even feel the weight. And why is it so comfortable? That's the real question that we want to answer. And we want to see these attributes in the bags that we choose for camera gear. So first thing, comfortable straps, obviously, right? But the nice padding and the good form and the heavy duty foam, these are important factors in creating a comfortable strap. The Peak Design strap, from my experience, was not comfortable. It wasn't thick enough. It wasn't the right design. It just didn't fit very well. So that's the first thing I would say is these straps. Next thing is the sternum strap. So the sternum strap is the strap that connects across your sternum and holds the back straps, the shoulder straps, in place. And increasingly, actually, we're starting to see female and male designs of sternum straps, which is really cool. The traditional design is what I'd call the male design, which is just a single sternum strap. But Shimoda is one of the bag companies now that's coming out with a dual strap, which I think is presumably more comfortable for women. It's designed for women. So that's pretty neat, and this is an important factor as well. Okay, waist straps. A lot of photographers are cutting off their waist straps, or they're buckling them around like this and they're not using them, and I don't really get it. Waist straps distribute the weight to your waist. Obviously, that's helpful for taking the weight off your shoulders. You don't get that nagging kind of like long-term pain in the shoulders from carrying too much weight in your shoulders. The other reason why waist straps are useful is because they have pockets, or at least the best designed ones do. So this particular bag has one pocket here, which is a mesh pocket that I use for like an apple or granola bar, something that could benefit from breathing a little bit. And the other pocket is a solid, nylon pocket. And this is what I use for my phone. But both of those sit on your waist and they're really useful and functional. Okay, other things that make a backpack comfortable. Load lifter straps. Now, load lifter straps are adjustable, and so they can either lift the load up onto your shoulders, or as you let them out, they can push the load down to your waist. And that's an important attribute as your load changes in your backpack for adjusting the position of these straps on your shoulders. If you don't have load lifters, which the Peak design did not, your straps kind of have to configure to fit your body shape. But load lifters allow you to kind of adjust the strap positioning in terms of the height to fit the most comfortable setting. And if you use these, you'll notice how much help they really are. I think this is actually probably one of the coolest and most missing parts of backpack comfort. Okay, other things to note. There's an internal frame in this backpack. It's an aluminum stay. And what that is just basically an aluminum bar that's kind of a U shape that goes along the backpack. And the benefit of that is that it holds its structure. It's rigid. And so when you put a lot of gear in there, the bag stays the shape it should be. And the problem with a lot of bags out there that don't have these is they conform to fit the gear. And you don't want your bag to conform to fit the gear. You want your bag to stay as it was originally designed, utilizing the comfort, the straps and the waist strap and all the things that are built into it that are helpful. So the aluminum stay distributes that weight and it maintains the rigidity of the backpack. So I think that's another essential item here. Oh, the final thing, which I think is pretty important, is adjustable straps. So do the straps move up and down to fit different body sizes? When you're buying camera bags or even backpacks like this, they're typically made in 1 or 2 or maybe 3 sizes. So you do want a bag, if you're kind of an unusual size, that's adjustable. Now this REI bag is not adjustable. So you can see the seams here are just sewn in for the backpack straps. An adjustable frame would have backpack straps that move up and down. And so you can position the bag up and down on your backpack. And so anyway, these are the attributes that make this bag super duper comfortable. Now, let's look at the Atlas bag. Why is this bag comfortable? Well, this bag's comfortable because it has most of those attributes. It has nice, comfortable, heavy density foam backpack straps. It has a waist strap. It has a sternum strap. It has an aluminum stay that runs through the whole frame of the backpack. It has pockets, which are, additional functionality. These pockets pop out and they hang and they can, you can carry whatever you want in them. And this pack does not, it has the load lifter straps, and it also does not have adjustable shoulder straps. And so actually in my case, I think this pack doesn't fit perfectly, and that's something I would have liked. I would have liked an adjustable backpack strap so that I could move it kind of up and down on my back. But otherwise, we've hit all of the criteria that are really valuable in a hiking backpack like REI designs for the sole purpose of carrying hiking gear. We've hit a lot of those in this backpack. One other thing to think about and to note when it comes to camera backpacks is there's typically 2 ways to access your gear. Sometimes there's a side pocket, which is a third way. But one way is through the back, which is what this is. You unzipper, this right here, and you unzipper the pack like that, and you can access your gear. So that's one way. The other way is through the front. So you'll see this in other designs where you unzipper the front. The problem with the front is that it's easy to steal, and it's kind of annoying. You're putting your backpack straps, the part that you're putting onto your back, you're putting that onto the ground, you're unzippering the front, you're opening it up, and you're accessing your gear, but now your stuff's kind of dirty, and that's not always ideal. So anyway, these backpacks that are designed to open up in the back have become more and more popular. I like that design. I think it works for me as a landscape photographer. I like to kind of pace myself and go a little bit slow. So I don't mind that format. But the problem with that format is this piece is what's touching your back. So it's hard to design a really purpose-built back panel that's designed for comfort if you're also trying to design for this dual purpose of being able to open it. And one thing I like about the Atlas bag is the laptop compartment is not right here. it's actually inside the backpack. And the benefit of that is you don't have a super rigid frame here. So this can conform a little bit, this back panel to your back. But on the other hand, you have all your gear here. So if your gear is sticking up or it's, too tall or something like that, the problem is that starts to pop through or push on this back panel, which then gets into your back. And that's the issue I run into with this particular bag in this model, because my DSLR cannot fit properly inside the backpack. And so for that, let's look a little bit inside. Let's load it up with gear and let's take a look what it looks like when it's fully loaded. Well, for the purposes of today and demonstrating kind of the capacity of this pack, I wanted to use an illustrative example of the gear that I'm trying to carry on a daily basis. So it's a lot. So the first thing to note is I've got a D850 Nikon. That's a full frame camera body. I do not have an L bracket, so it's a little less of an issue in terms of storage, but it's still quite a large camera. That's attached in this case to a Sigma 150 to 600 millimeter super zoom telephoto. It's a large lens, but I do want a bag and need a bag that has the capacity to carry that. Over here, I've got a Sigma 105 fixed lens macro, but this is about the same size as, a normal wide angle lens or a 24 to 70. On the left here, I have a Tamron 24 to 70. So what you have here is essentially a larger length version of the Holy Trio, Holy Trinity. If you're carrying a wide angle lens, it's probably about the size of this one. This is a 24 to 70, though the Nikon's probably a little bit longer and a little less wide. And then here I've got a large version of a telephoto, a little bit longer than your traditional 70 to 200, but essentially the same grouping of lenses. All right, so I want to take you inside of the backpack a little bit. Now this is the main chamber. We've obviously opened up the backpack flap. This is fairly thin, I would say. It's not a ton of padding, but it's comfortable. It's okay. So the first thing that was kind of neat about the design here was the origami core is what they call it. And this is kind of a cool concept. So it's a piece of foam here and it's a piece of foam here. And it creates essentially a, like a pocket. So you can pull it out and you have a smaller core, which allows more space for storage of your non-camera gear, or you can pop it in and you can have more storage for your camera gear. And it's actually pretty nice. I'd say it's kind of a nice framework for storing gear. So let's grab our camera gear and the camera. So first thing is the giant D850 combo with the 150 to 600. And you'll see it fits. It fits in terms of the length. And that was an important factor for me in making a decision. Next, we've got the 24 to 70, easily fits like that, and the macro lens or wide angle or whatever you're doing. And so you can see it's fairly easy to fit the three lenses in there with ample storage on the side. If we put another divider there, ample storage on the side here for additional gear like filters and other sorts of things like that, like batteries. So it's a pretty nice setup, I would say, in terms of, allocating space and making sure that everything fits. Okay, now, what is the problem with this? Well, if we look down here for a second, this is a Nikon D850 right here. And you can see, well, when you pick it up, most of it disappears into the frame, but there is this bit popping up. Right? It's just not quite deep enough. Now you can zipper this shut. You get a little bit of a bulge here. And it's not the most comfortable thing ever, but you can make it work. However, it's not really designed for a D850 or this size camera body. Now I saw reviews that said that it was, but it isn't. So that's the problem that I have with this bag, is it cannot fit this upright. And what that means is you have to detach the lens from your camera body. You have to store the camera body kind of in a quadrant here and then put the lens on the side. That's doable. It fits. It's not a huge deal, but it's not perfect. All right, next I wanted to show you the inside of the pack. Now, you'll have to bear with me because I don't have the best lighting set up and there isn't a ton of light down here in the basement. But you can see inside the pack here, that is the camera core that's built in. There, in the current setting, it's the smaller setting for the core, so there's more storage up top. So you have quite a spacious duffel zone up here. There is also a camera or a laptop compartment. This is not the best video, but there's a laptop compartment right here that is on the back side of the camera core. And that's actually kind of nice because that means your back has about, the camera and all the padding in front of it between your back and the laptop. So you don't have that rigid back panel that happens sometimes when you have some of those backpacks there you store the camera on your back. The downside is, though, there isn't a ton of padding on the front end. So, your laptop would basically be right behind this duffel, nylon material, and there isn't much padding. So if you're going to do a laptop, throw a jacket basically in this compartment to add additional padding. I don't think that's necessarily the best thing in the world, but it is a solution. The other thing I wanted to mention on the inside of the bag is, again, you can't really see this, but maybe it's best from the outside. My hand can go all the way down to the bottom of the bag. And that's because inside of the camera bag here, there's the camera core, which probably takes up about this much space. And then there's a section here, which is part of the duffel. So if you imagine the duffel, it's this whole section here, but then it also extends down here. Now, that's cool because that increases the capacity of the bag. Now you could put like anything you want down there. I've put basically all of my rain gear when I'm hiking in the White Mountains and I want to make sure that I am going to be safe. But the downside to that is that stuff tends to get lost in this zone. And I think that is a bit of a flaw in the design. And it means that the bag is cavernous and a little bit hard to access. And I saw this in other reviews and I kind of was like, whatever, like that's not a big deal. But let's be honest, like when you're out hiking and stuff like that and you're fishing around in the bottom of your pack, it's not exactly a nice feeling. So that is something to be aware of with this pack. That additional capacity does come at a cost. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about these dividers and what I've done to make this bag functional. So this is a new design of a divider. It's not the divider that came with this 4-year-old backpack. It's actually the one that they're making right now in production for new backpacks. And this was available for $40. I got, I think, 3 of these and a bunch of kind of smaller mid-range ones and some of these small ones. Some of them even have pockets. So it's a pretty nice upgrade to make this bag a lot more functional. The other thing is the camera core itself, which is foam padding on 4 different sides, as well as the origami core. These are removable, so you can turn the bag inside out, take out the aluminum frame, and then you can access each of these. And I like that modular upgrade capability. So they mailed me thicker, updated, more sturdy foam. Really, it is foam, but it's a very strong foam. It's not like the foam that you would use for your backpack straps. It's like a very thick foam. And so they sent me these, and I actually was able to do the install myself to upgrade this original backpack to be capable of handling a lot more weight and to just improve the frame. And that's cool. I think it's important to reuse products like this and to turn them into more functional, updated products when we can, so we don't just throw out perfectly viable and useful backpacks and other type of hiking equipment like this one. So that's it. That's my review of the bag. I think it's a great backpack. I think it's worth checking these out. The new ones are out. That means the old ones are being sold off. I've seen a number of them on Facebook Marketplace and Mercari where I bought this. So I would do it. I would buy a used pack, especially if you can get it for under $100. I got this for $70, as I mentioned. And then that upgrade of the dividers, another 40. So, 110 all in for a really good backpack. Costs about a quarter of what it is new. And it's super functional. I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it as my hiking pack. I'm going to use it when I go up into the White Mountains and I strap snowshoes to the side, and I'm not worried about tearing it and doing damage to it. I want it to get dirty, and that is the Atlas Bags motto: dirty pack is a good pack. And I think that is cool as a brand, right? The other thing I wanted to say is Atlas Bags has phenomenal customer service. So Alan over there at Atlas Bags, just stand up dude, really, really helpful for understanding the age of my pack, which pack I actually got, how to wash the bag. So I turned it inside out and washed it when I got it used because I wanted kind of a fresh new bag feel. He helped me get those dividers and the upgraded core system. So very cool company, small, bespoke, not bespoke, but small and kind of trying to do their best. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that in a company when they're working hard to serve you. So I think it's cool to buy a used pack. I think it's even better to buy a used pack from a company that's reputable and will stand behind it. And Atlas Bags, from my experience, is definitely one of those companies. So good pack, gonna use it, gonna stay in my arsenal. But the bag that I just got, and I did get this one new, is the version 2 of the Shimoda Explorer pack. And this is the 35-liter version. And I just got this and I've only used it a little bit, but man, is this a cool pack. So I'm going to do a review of this in the weeks ahead after I've spent at least a month using this thing on almost daily basis. So I want to make sure that I have a good unvarnished view for you that's informed by my experience. And again, not sponsored by Shimoda, so I'm not getting this bag free like a lot of people out there who have reviewed the bag. I'm going to give it to you straight and give you my impression. But that's what I got for you today, this week. I hope you get outside. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy the weekend, this late fall, crispy weekend in New England. So enjoy it. And if you're enjoying this content and it's helpful for you, please like the video, please subscribe to the channel. Apologies for today's setup. I promise it will get better, and we're starting from a good spot. So take care and be well and enjoy the weekend. Bye-bye.